Hey guys, so I had a couple of questions from people, one today and then a couple yesterday in my office hours, about how exactly to solve and then input solutions specifically on this section of Delta Math that's quadratic formula rational solutions. And rational solutions means that you'll have like nice neat little fractions or decimals. I believe all of these are supposed to be answered in fraction form. So make sure you do that. But I just wanted to walk through the solution process with you guys, just so you can see how one's done. So that if you are having kind of a difficult time with it, that this might help. Okay? All right, so we have this problem here, and it's 10k squared minus 10k plus 2 equals negative k. So I'm going to write that down as soon as I get my pen open here. So we have 10k squared minus 10k plus 2, there's my dog barking, equals negative k. I'm sorry. I can't stop this video, so you're just going to have to hear. All right, so the first thing we need to know is that this side, you have to have this solved equal to 0 in order to solve these. So none of these I don't believe can be solved unless, I don't think that any of them can be solved right away, because I don't think any of them are actually equal to 0. So the first thing we're going to have to do is get this negative k over here. And the way we get a negative k over there is to add k. And I have to carefully add it because I need to add it where there's like terms. And by the way, that's 1k. So I had to add it under the term with just k. So now I have 10k squared, and then minus 10k plus 1k is plus 9k, and then plus 2 equals 0. So now I can solve this. And by when I say solve, I mean put it into the quadratic formula, which is x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. All right, now remember that we get our a, b, and c from the equation, right? So we have a is 10, b is 9, c is 2. So I'm going to plug all those different ones in here. So I have x equals the opposite of b. So the opposite of 9, I'm sorry, and now that I'm looking at that should be negative 9. There you go. You guys probably saw that before I did, because of course a negative 10 plus 1 would be negative 9. So glad I caught that. Opposite of negative 9 plus or minus the square root of negative 9 squared minus 4 times a, which is 10, times c, which is 2, all over 2 times a, so that would be 10. Now, remember that this thing, like this plus or minus right here, you have to, that doesn't, like you can't do that all at the same time. It means that you have to do this twice. So you have the plus version you're going to do, and then the minus version you're going to do. So the plus version is going to be x equals the opposite of negative 9 plus the square root of negative 9 squared minus 4 times 10 times 2 all over 2 times 10, which is 20, but we'll get there in a minute. And then the minus version is going to be x equals opposite of negative 9 minus the square root of negative 9 squared minus 4 times 10 times 2 over 2 times 10. And you can put this in your calculator right now if you downloaded that app or you have your own calculator. You can put this in just like it is. So negative and then parenthesis, oh shoot, sorry, hold on, I need to get a fraction. Alpha y equals, and then number 1, there we go. So alpha y equals, and then negative of negative 9 plus the square root of, in parentheses, negative 9 squared minus 4 times 10 times 2. And notice when I say times, I mean I'm throwing all this stuff in parentheses, okay? And then over 2 times 10. And of course, Again, as we know, 2 times 10 is 20. There's probably a lot of this math you can do on your own, but if you just want to throw it all in your calculator all in one fell swoop, you can. So I hit enter, and I get 1/2. So my first answer here is going to be x equals 1/2. That's an x, not a y. Sorry. And then if I'm doing this on my calculator, remember the super, super easy way is hit second and then enter. Pulls up the same thing you just did. The only thing you need to do is get up to the numerator, change this plus here to a minus, hit enter again, and you get 2/5. So that's your other answer, is x equals 2/5. Now, if you don't have a calculator or you just get some sort of satisfaction from actually doing math, you can just simplify this. So opposite of -9 is just 9. Plus the square root of -9 squared is 81 minus 4 times 10 times 2 is 80 over 2 times 10 is 20. So now I have to simplify under the radical. So I have 9 plus the square root of 1 over 20, and then which is 9. Of course, the square root of 1 is 1 over 20. So 9 plus 1 is 10. So I'm running out of room here. Over 20, which is 1/2, which is what I have over here. That circle is ridiculous. It's nowhere near the 1/2. I apologize. Now, all of this work is actually the exact same again, except for the fact that this plus is going to be a minus. So I can skip all of that and just get to 9 minus 1 over 20, which will give me 8 over 20, which reduced 4 goes into 8 twice and into 25 times. So you get 2 over 5, which is the same as that one. I circled much better that time. So there you go. I probably should have done the portrait or the landscape the whole time, but it's harder to hold myself while I'm doing this. So that's how you do the problem itself. Now to enter it, so you get back up to the screen here and you're like, well, I have 2 answers, but it's only giving me a spot for 1. So over next to this keyboard here, you have that plus symbol. So click that. And then you get in here. I would also click the keyboard. So my first answer is 1/2. So I hit 1 and then divided by 2. And you'll notice it just puts it into fraction form for me. And then I go to the other one and I hit 2 divided by 5. And again, like I said, put these in fractions. I don't know actually if they will allow decimals or not. Maybe I'll submit this one because I know it's right, and then I'll go back and see. But yeah, so if you need the 2 answers, just hit the plus. And then if you needed just the 1 answer, you hit the minus. So I hit submit answer. It says, are you sure? And like that question's always like, I don't know, should I be sure? But yes, in this case, we know we're right. And then you hit enter and I get a big old check mark, which is nice. So let's go back and see what happens if we change this into a decimal. So of course, 0.5 would be 1/2. And then 2 over 5 would be 4/10. So 0.4. Let's see if they allow that as an answer. I don't know if they do or not. They sure do. So there you go. So you could actually do fractions or decimals. Who knew? How exciting is that? All right. So hopefully that helps. And you're a little bit more comfortable doing your quadratic formula questions. The big thing, again, remember, is that you have to get that one side equal to 0. So that's why we had to do that at first. Please remember too, so if I'm on this show question, well, I think I'm on mine, so I might not be able to do it, but on yours, there's like a show example or a show video or something like that. Maybe it is show solution. So if you're having a hard time, also watch that too. That could help you. All right. All right. Mrs. Shigley signing off. Hope you're having a good day.